Alright, give me a minute to find this video on my computer. And there it is. And I even already have company. All right, well, hello. My name is Christy Hillock, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And hopefully the sound's working. I forgot to start my earbuds before, so let me know if you can't hear me. Okay, maybe that's it. So thanks for sharing. Good to see you, Mom. Sorry, I'm trying to do too many things and I feel super out of practice, even though I only missed last week. But anyway, okay, so got the introduction out of the way. Couple things to tell you. Tonight I'm showing you the product suite Eden's Garden, and that has just been released this month, and it is a special early release from our January to June mini catalog, which will be coming out and sometime in December. I'm not sure exactly when. So this is a beautiful product suite, and the designer series paper and I believe the gems and the cotton paper as well are all only while supplies last. They aren't going to be in the next catalog. Just the stamps and the dies will be, and these dies are amazing. And so what I've decided to do, I wanted to show you a fun card tonight, but I also, for anyone who orders this bundle, or sorry, this suite, which I want to say is $82, but honestly, I look at so many things on our website. Hey, Aunt Pat, thanks for sharing. So it could be different price than that. But anyway, if you order the collection, I will send you the supplies and a PDF to make 4 beautiful cards with the collection. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in or if you have any questions. And then the next thing is that tonight is the last night to register for my Tidings and Trimmings class to go. And I'll just show you those one more time. So you'll get supplies to make 2 of each of these beautiful cards, and ribbon and the gems and oh my goodness, I hear my kids screaming. You talk about distracting. Ribbon and gems and the designer series paper, and then I pre-cut everything else for you. So this was a lot of fun to do as well. So let me know if you have questions there. And then our Black Friday sale is actually starting on the 16th. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like them. And running through the 18th. And it's got paper, ink, and dies from the annual catalog all on sale at different discount levels. So that is a wonderful sale, and it's a whole lot easier to understand than what we did last year. So definitely take advantage of that. And I think the last thing is that today is the 11th, which is always the first day of a new ordering period for Paper Pumpkin. And it's called Lots of Pun. It's totally all-purpose, nothing Christmassy about it. And it's got beautiful bright colors, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green, Pool Party, and then a few others. It makes 9 cards, and it's, as you would guess from the title, kind of silly. But I think it's going to be cute. There's a banana with glasses and all sorts of different things. So you'll find it quite appealing, as they say. And when I was telling my husband about it, he just laughed because that's total dad joke territory and he loved it. So let's get on to this card. And let's see. This is called a center step fold, and I had never made one of these. And my mom had made one and sent it to Jonah a long time ago, and I finally got around to casing it. So it's really cool because it stands up on your desk and just is a nice reminder that someone loves you. So that's why I wanted to send a sentiment that was good to look at over and over rather than like happy birthday or that kind of thing. And then on the inside, I just used a little bit of foil and some space to write a message. So that is what we are working towards. Now I made this 2 days ago. I was actually like on my game this week. I don't know what's going on. And so yeah, now I don't remember how to do it. So we'll see what happens. Forgive me if things go a little bit rocky, but I think I've got it. So we're going to start with a 5.5 by 11-inch piece of cardstock. So this is more than a half a piece of cardstock, which is what our normal card bases are. And we are going to take this, and I'm just gonna lay out my samples so I can figure out what I'm doing here. I'm going to start I'm going to use this side and go to the 1-inch mark here. And I'm actually going to turn this so that I can see the measuring on this side. So I'm going to cut from the 1-inch mark right there. Get this back into position. 1 inch down to 6.5. So just right there. And then I'm going to flip this over and do the exact same thing. So start at the 6.5 and go all the way to 1. Okay, and now we are done with the cutting blade. And what I want to do next is just score these sides. So I'm going to, again, line up with the 1-inch mark over here and just score from the start over to the 1-inch. So that's how that's supposed to be. And then I'm going to come over to my 4.5 and score out. Okay, and then the next one is going to be at the 2-inch. So I'm going to flip this around. Running out of space. Okay, so this I'm making look a little complicated, but it's really, once you get the hang of it, it's quite easy with lots of reward. So there's that. And then now I'm going to come to the 5.5. Oh my goodness, forgive my sniffles. And this time I just want to score in between my cut lines. So we're going to come just right there. And then last one, I'm going to have to extend this arm. And so I'll go this way. I'm going to come to the 6.5 and then score here and, oh, there we go. Okay, I think that's got it. So now, if I were really prepared, I would have a sample of this where everything was written on it and you could snap a screenshot, but we're not going to do that today. So just roll with me, and if you have questions, you can always ask. So I'm just going to start folding on these score lines, and I want to be really careful that I don't fold where there isn't a score. So this guy's going to go in like that, and this one is going to pop up like that. Okay, so hopefully you're starting to see how this is going to look. And hopefully I did it right. It's always nerve-wracking when you're on camera, and I thought that I had written down my instructions, but I didn't. So anyway, I think we got it. Ta-da! So now the rest of it is really simple. It's just putting things together. But there are some elements that I definitely want to make sure you are aware of. So this is one of the beautiful patterns of the DSP, and I mean, it's just so pretty. It uses soft succulent and evening evergreen and gold, so it is a specialty designer series paper with that gold foil in there. So this piece is, let's see, 3.25 by 5.25, And we're just going to glue this on. And honestly, I love this spattered pattern too. Sometimes gold makes me feel like it's pretty fancy, and my style is rarely fancy. So often I put the foil side down, which is kind of sad, but I really like both of these sides. And this card I definitely wanted to make fancy because of the effort going into the fold itself. So, all right, there's that piece. Now I'm going to take these two strips, and these are 3/4 inches by 4 1/4. So get some glue on both of them. So with this daylight, are we in daylight standard time? I always find that confusing. Or maybe now is savings time. Anyway, you think, oh, we fall back. That's wonderful. We get an extra hour of sleep. It's so great. Oh my gosh, my kids have been up so early this week. So yeah, I understand having a hard time putting the foil down, but I'm like, how pretty are these patterns? So you just have to buy 2 packs and know that one is for the non-foil side. Anyway, it's been interesting adjusting. I know when the kids were babies, it was a thing. Like we got ready for it, and really put a lot of thought into how to minimize the sleep disturbances and everything. And that is not where we are, but I think maybe I should have thought about it. Okay, so this is a piece of soft succulent that is 3/4 inch by 5 3/8 inch. And I ran it through the cut and emboss machine with the Bark 3D embossing folder. So I'm just going to put it on just like that. And the reason I did it this way is that I didn't want a rich raspberry gap right here. So I just brought the designer series paper all the way down. So this Bark 3D embossing folder has a lot of texture to it, and it's just beautiful, but also subtle. And so I've really gotten a lot of use out of it. And I don't think that necessarily you look at it and think, oh, that's based on a tree. It's just a nice, subtle pattern. Okay, so there is that. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is so this die is designed for edge die, obviously, and so I'm just going to adhere it just like this, and then I'll snip off that side that's kind of gone over a little bit. And then we will remeasure the entire panel and trim it down so that it fits in the card properly. So I just want that stitched line to be right on the bottom edge here. And then I'm going to let that dry for just a second while I grab my little cutter. Okay, and I wanted this as a whole to be 5 1/4 inches, I believe. So let me just double check that so that we, measure twice, cut once kind of thing. So yes, 5 1/4 total. And what that will do is put us right about there. So I'll save that strip for something down the road. And get this out of the way. And we'll cut that as well. And just get some glue back here quickly. So as you can see, this is not a lot of work other than the die cutting. There's only one stamp on it. You could certainly stamp additional sentiment on the inside of the card if you wanted to, but I like to leave my options open, and so often I just don't really stamp that much in terms of sentiment. So I'm using the Label Me Lovely with Evening Evergreen, and then the Label Me Fancy punch in Rich Razzleberry. And then I also took, so this is our cotton paper, and I think it's fascinating. It is so incredibly thin, but it's not nearly as delicate as you would think it would be. Like, it doesn't tear easily or anything like that. And you can do tons of different things with it. I, for one of my cards, crumpled it up and then smoothed it back out, and it just had some nice texture without being uniform or requiring an embossing folder. So that's kind of what I did there. And then this I cut out of gold. So this is the same die. And I need my Evening Evergreen ink pad here and my Sending Hugs stamp. And I'm just going to get this inked up nicely and lined up. And there it is. Yeah, it's amazing how much the foil adds to the presentation of the card. I mean, it just makes such a huge difference. Foil is one of those, like, easy to add without, oh, I guess you get a lot of bang for your buck kind of mentality. So what I'm going to do here is just put glue on the back of my Razzleberry label, and then I want to set my die cuts here, just kind of get them laid out, and then I will pick them up with the glue, or not pick them up, but just adhere them all at once. So there is that. Now while that dries, I am going to take this big beautiful die cut, and I mean, you talk about a lot of impact with this. It's one pass through the big shot, although honestly, when they're detailed like this, I do run them 2 or 3 times just to really get a good cut. And I mean, it's incredible. It's so pretty. So what I'm going to do is take some glue, and you don't need to get every last little leaf, but the bigger leaves, where I have more surface area to put glue, I'm going to go ahead and hit with my liquid glue. I could have used an adhesive sheet, but I feel like I would have wasted a lot of the adhesive sheet doing that, and I don't want glue on the sides anyway, because it does go over the edges just a touch. So that's why we're going this way. And again, it doesn't take terribly much. So now I'm just going to catch a part where I'm not going to get my fingers in the glue and lay this on here. And we'll hold that down for a second and let it get good and dry. And I did have full-size dimensionals somewhere like 10 minutes before I went live, but they have since vanished. So we're going to use these little mini dimensionals. And since it's just this small label, I think that's probably just as good. And get a couple in the center as well so it doesn't sag at all. Okay. And then peeling off the little ones is really why I don't use the minis more than I have to. Sometimes I just can't get them to separate. So you ladies are quiet. Hoping that I will be re-energized by next week, and the change of time and the fact that it's dark at, before Joe gets home from work is not affecting me quite so badly. So there we go. That is our card. I'm so glad you like it. Thank you. So I would love to see your versions if you decide to make any. If you have any questions about the Eden's Garden bundle or the upcoming paper pumpkin, definitely let me know. I also would love it if you signed up for my tidings and trimmings class to go. The registration closes tonight, and have a class in person on the 22nd. So if you're local, I would love to see you. And there's a link to register for that as well. And other than that, I really, really appreciate your company through the video tonight, and also would appreciate your business if you need any supplies. So once again, thanks. It's good to see you, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your evening. Good night, guys.